Tesla alone, their market cap is upwards of $600 billion and they make no money from selling cars. Howdy. This is Handai here from west of Hudson River. Today I'm going to tell you about the good and the bad about Tesla and whether you should buy the stock and what you should think about the current price moves. There's an approach to picking stocks which is called scuttlebutting. A lot of people think about, let me use a product. If I like the product, if everybody's using the product, I'll buy the stock because you will make money. That's what the thought process is. But not necessarily. If the product is good, everybody knows it's good. The expectations are usually baked into the valuation. So you can have a good product and still never make money in the stock. With the interest rates where they are right now, the markets are not currently overvalued. We have some pockets of bubbliness like SPACs, EVs, cryptocurrency, but generally speaking, the markets are not overvalued. When you buy growth stocks, it's not that easy as most people think it is, that there will be continued adoption of the product, of service, and you will just make money. It's not that simple. There's a thing called infinity paradox. You should look into it. Google it. I'm not going to talk about infinity paradox. It's a very interesting thing. So in the EV space, the market is currently ascribing very high valuations for earnings that don't exist. So no matter what you think about it, it is a very risky space. So generally electric vehicles are easy to maintain, they're much cleaner, and that's how they're looked at by everybody. Electric vehicles have been around for a long time. Most people think it's a new thing, but the first electric vehicle was invented in 1881. Even then, they were looked at as vehicles which were much cleaner with much lower maintenance issues, and they were generally convenient vehicles. So a lot of women used to drive it back then. So they were seen as women's vehicle. Car manufacturing is not a very profitable industry. It has very slim margins, but it's an industry that's important for most countries because it's a huge employment generator and it generates employment in multiple sectors: plastics, tires, metals, bunch of other things. That's why most countries try to make sure they have a good base of motor vehicle manufacturing in their country. So they incentivize car companies to manufacture the cars in their own countries. And sometimes they even have tariffs against them to prohibit them from manufacturing cars in some other countries and bringing it to their country because everybody wants their people to be employed. Right now, there's a big global rush to manufacture EVs in their countries and everybody wants to be a big EV player. But you will be surprised in the future as to who will be the biggest player and whose product will be judged how. Right now, it's too early to judge who the biggest EV player will be 20 years down the line. So Tesla is very hot in the EV space. It is the current market leader. But the problem with Tesla stock is its business model, which the more I read about it, I think is a fair business model, but the valuation, and there is just too much execution risk. So just to give you a perspective about how bad the valuation of Tesla is, you can take the top 32 car manufacturers globally. This is car manufacturers all around the world, 32 of them. Their market cap is close to $1 trillion US. Tesla alone, their market cap is upwards of $600 billion and they make no money from selling cars. The little profit that they've made in last few quarters for their inclusion in the S&P 500 index is by selling tax credits. They still have yet to make $1 from selling cars. Every bull market, you have some stock or some sector that catches the fancy of investors. And if you're a momentum chaser, that's okay. Just make sure what you're doing. Just in case your hands get burnt, you know what lessons to learn for next time. Now let's look at both sides of the picture. What is good about Tesla? What is bad about Tesla? There have been a lot of naysayers who keep saying that there's going to be a lot of competition. Tesla is going to be swarmed. Well, it has not yet materialized. With Tesla's valuation today, the problem is car companies are generally valued at a very low rate because it's a very cyclical industry. The profit margins are razor thin. If you look at Tesla as a car company, the valuations don't make sense at all. But if you look at Tesla as a technology company, which I think more and more it will be true, then the valuations start making sense. But there's a lot of slip between the cup and the sip. When the bulls look at Tesla, what do they look at? They look at it as a clean energy company. They look at it as a low-cost battery producer. They look at it as a solar roofing company. They look at it as a shared mobility company. They look at it as an autonomous driving vehicle company. The bulls look at Tesla as a subscription model, as a software company. So they look at a lot of things that have not yet materialized. And I'm not saying they won't materialize or they can't. Anything can happen in this world, but you can't be sure about it. But you don't really know if Tesla will be able to maintain its leadership, be ahead of the pack 10 years down the line, because there's just too much execution risk. And the competition that Tesla faces is not feeble competition. It faces competition from companies which are very, very important for their own respective countries. And the countries will also make sure that these companies are amply supported financially or any other way, so they don't lose the manufacturing base, they don't lose the jobs that car manufacturing provides. Car manufacturing is very important industry for a lot of countries like Germany, Japan, South Korea, India, China, and these countries would not like to lose their manufacturing base. Even America, they would not like to lose their manufacturing base so fast. I think even Mexico falls in that category. They make a lot of trucks and cars for North America. And even if you look at Tesla or the EV space from legacy car manufacturers, I don't think it's that bad, because Tesla is taking all the risk of EV development, market validation of the concept, and if it works, maybe the legacy manufacturers can jump into it as well. Well, the bears keep saying that it hasn't happened, so take it with a grain of salt too. So, it's not that easy a picture to decipher. Just to give you an example how difficult car business is, it's not like any other business. So unless Tesla materializes as a software company and all the other attributes I was just talking about, you can't really give it this kind of valuation. So in America, in last 100 years, how many car manufacturers do you think have come and gone? About 3,000 car companies. And of the 3,000 car companies, how many do you think survive today? 3. Ford, Chrysler Fiat, same thing, and General Motors. And even of those 3, during 2008, 2009, 2010 recession, 2 of them had to take government money and had to be bailed out to survive. Otherwise, only Ford might have survived, maybe. So I'm just trying to tell you how difficult this business is, how cyclical it can be, how rough the margins are. And it's an important industry for countries. So the fight is going to be very, very hard. It's not going to be an easy market for Tesla to take. Unless, like I said, it's not just a car company and it becomes something else. So I just gave you an example of how difficult this industry can be, car industry. So Tesla does have a few years of lead over other car manufacturers in EV and AV space. By AV, I mean autonomous vehicle space. But it's still too early to determine who will be the eventual leader in this space and will Tesla be the one. It's not that easy to make that analysis today. I did a lot of reading on this subject, so I can give you a very informed decision. So there are a lot of naysayers about Tesla. A lot of people think that the valuation is too overblown. I don't think so. If Tesla can transition from being a car company to a technology company and other things that I spoke about, the valuation is not too out of whack. But what remains to be seen is, can Tesla make that transition? I think a lot of millennials, a lot of retail investors, Cathy Woods, these guys, they overestimate Tesla, but they are not completely wrong. They might be right in parts. So Musk seems to have this kamikaze kind of mentality. He likes to take crazy risks which have panned out for him well. But I would not like my business partner to take those risks, because I'm not shooting for the moon. I'm not trying to be a billionaire. I'm just trying to have some money for my retirement and live a comfortable life. So I want my business partner, that is when I buy stock, I'm a business partner. I want my business partner to be conservative, don't take risks, but make money for sure. So it's hard for me personally to buy Tesla, because I think it's pretty risky at this point in time, very risky at this point in time, but I'm buying index funds. Tesla is part of the index funds, so I have some exposure to it, which is okay, which is acceptable. So I wouldn't buy Tesla individually, but I wouldn't short it either, because a lot of very big investors, very smart people have been thrown into the wood chipper. Recently, Michael Burry, he shorted the stock. Let's see what happens to Michael Burry. But it's a hard stock. What I want to do right now is just grab a cup of my coffee, watch news, and see how the game plays. This is one of those stocks you talk about in the cocktail parties when you tell other people, dang it, I should have bought that stock. I knew it would have done well. Or you tell them, I knew it, this was gonna go down, so I didn't buy it. Give me your honest feedback on my video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you didn't like it. At least I know what I need to do if I need to put more effort into it. This video I did a lot of reading, read a lot of opinions from very big investors, a lot of billionaires, hedge fund investors, how they think about Tesla, so I can present you a thought process with which you can actually think properly about Tesla without getting swayed this way or that way. So guys, think about Tesla, tell me your opinion, and I will see you in my next video pretty soon.